Hi, this is Anthony Taggart from theswingengineer.com. This is part 4 in my series explaining the power accumulators. We use the third power accumulator a bit differently compared to the first and second. But before I explain why and how, let's look at how it accumulates and releases its power. Much like the second accumulator, the third uses wrist motion to move the secondary lever assembly. But instead of cocking and uncocking the left wrist, we arch and bend it. Arching the left wrist accumulates power, and bending it releases that power. You may be familiar with this motion, especially if you struggle with your golf swing. This action is more commonly known as flipping the wrists, and it's something you should definitely avoid. Flipping the wrists is instinctive to all new golfers because it does provide power, and does so in the direction you want the ball to go. However, it completely destroys clubhead lag and control over the ball's flight. So because of this, we don't use the third power accumulator in a traditional sense. Instead, we find this accumulator's inline condition and hold that throughout the swing. The inline condition we're looking for is an alignment between the left arm and club shaft. But it doesn't have to be a straight line. In fact, it's more useful to us if it isn't. Instead, we want the left arm and club shaft to be on the same plane, and that plane is the motion of the left wrist cock. Typically at address, the third accumulator is out of line. Then, during the takeaway, the golfer will flatten their left wrist and bring the left arm and club in line. Now it's a case of holding this alignment until after impact, preferably until the end of the swing. So how do we provide power to the swing with the left arm and club held stationary on one plane? By rotating that plane. The straight left arm becomes our axis around which the club rotates. This allows us to move the club head around the hands during impact without flipping our wrists. And it's for this reason, of the 4 power accumulators, we use this one last. If you rotate the club too early during the downswing, it will throw the club head off plane, losing power and precision. This is why Mr. Kelly called this accumulator transfer power. At the start of the downswing, you're moving that left arm and club plane in a 2-dimensional fashion. Then, as the hands and club approach the ground, we rotate the plane through impact. So the third power accumulator allows us to transfer a linear motion into a rotational one. I'd mentioned earlier the third power accumulator is more useful to us when the left arm and club shaft aren't in a straight line. When that is the case, the club shaft marries up with the left arm's centre of rotation. This means rotating the plane simply opens and closes the club face. It doesn't provide any motion to the club head. So for this accumulator to work effectively, you need an angle between the left arm and club of less than 180 degrees. The smaller this angle, the more distance the club head travels as you rotate the club, and so therefore more potential power at your disposal. The pressure point for this accumulator is located on the right index finger, at the first joint where it touches the club. This pressure point is hugely important, and for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's the only pressure point that touches the club, and given its location, you can use it to sense clubhead lag. Not only can you feel clubhead lag, you can manipulate your right hand to aim that lag during the downswing. In other words, using that pressure point to ensure your swing has power and precision. So that's the third power accumulator. In summary, it's rotating the club around the axis of the straight left arm. This accumulator is very significant in the golfing machine, as it ties together lots of other concepts from the book, including hinge action, the endless belt effect, the flying wedges, rhythm, the aiming point, and others. To discover these concepts and much more, visit my website, theswingengineer.com.